Justice, 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 justice. I'm Attorney DeMario Solomon-Simmons. Law is my ministry. Justice is my passion. I'm excited to be here with you tonight or this afternoon to talk a little bit about our work at Justice for Greenwood. I'm just a kid from North Tulsa, went to Hawthorne, played basketball at Chamberlain, worked at Gibbs, went to Carver on Greenwood, Booker T. Washington High School, and to have this opportunity to stand here with all of you today as we continue to fight for our rights and our dignity. I want to first thank my sister, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher. Give her another round of applause for this amazing, amazing event. But not just the amazing event, but the fortitude to do everything that that family does, despite and in spite of all they have endured in this very city. Not only was Terrence brutally gunned down by Officer Betty Jo Shelby with his hands in the air, but their great-grandmother, Rebecca Brown Crutcher, was a victim of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, and yet they're still here. I thank the Terrence Crutcher Foundation for their vision and their leadership in this space. I want to recognize the Justice for Greenwood team. Any of the Justice for Greenwood team that are here, if you please stand. I want to recognize you for your tremendous work on this issue. And I know we've already done this, but I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my three beautiful, amazing 100-plus clients that are in this room today. I'm so blessed and thankful that I have an opportunity to represent these wonderful individuals, to call them my friend and their adopted son. I am talking about 108-year-old Mother Viola Floyd Fletcher, 107-year-old Mother Leslie Benefield Randall, and my man, the baby brother, 101-year-old Hughes Ben Ellis, better known as Uncle Red. When I started this work almost 25 years ago as a college student at the University of Oklahoma, and then as a graduate student, and then as a law student, and then as a baby lawyer, I had the opportunity to work with hundreds of survivors at that time. And all of those, as we heard earlier, are gone on, except these last three who are leading the fight for justice, who are leading the fight for reparations, who are leading the fight to get what is deserved for Greenwood. And when I say leading the fight, these amazing individuals sat in court with us on September 28th for almost 6 hours. And we kept asking them at our breaks, do you want to leave? Is it too much? And they all three of them told me, as long as you're here fighting for us, we're going to be here fighting with you. And then on May 2nd, just a few weeks ago, when we had this entire community come to the courtroom, it was standing room only. Many of the people here tonight were standing in that courtroom to witness history. And those three survivors were there also. And not just those survivors, but their caretaking, their families. It's a lot that people don't understand that it takes when people are over 100 to get them to where they need to be. And it's because of the love of their family, their children, and their grandchildren. So I want the grandchildren and the children of the survivors to stand, because you deserve recognition and credit for having these guys looking so good and taking such good care of them. And for all the descendants are here, you all are amazing and wonderful people, because literally, the stated goal of the Tulsa Race Massacre was to run the Negro out of Tulsa, to completely eradicate our existence here. Yet, here we are. And we're not just here, we're still fighting. And I always like to say, it's important to understand about the massacre, but it's also very important to understand that before the massacre, how Greenwood was built, and that we fought for everything that we built up into 1921. We fought during the massacre. Unfortunately, we were outnumbered and outgunned. And we started fighting for justice days after the massacre. When you think about the picture of B.C. Franklin, the great attorney B.C. Franklin, practicing law in a tent, suing the very people that had destroyed his community. And we're still making that fight. And that fight through Justice for Greenwood occurs through 4 specific programs. Our first program, called We Are Greenwood, where we're bringing together the Greenwood community, descendants. We have over 625 descendants in our descendant community. We're doing the oral histories of our descendant community. Our second program, our fight for our rights and our dignity, where we're bringing lawsuits. You heard about the May 2nd victory. We have other lawsuits that are ongoing, and many more, or at least some more, that are coming. We have our Black Wall Street Legacy Fund, where to date, our small grassroots organization has been able to give out over $350,000 to survivors, the surviving churches of the massacre, and the Greenwood Cultural Center. And our fourth program, yes, that's amazing, right? Our fourth program, the BTW Initiative, which stands for the Booker T. Washington Initiative, is where we educate and truth tell. And this is where we tell our story from our perspective. And we challenge false narratives at all times. And I'm very excited to report that as of yesterday, we acquired one of the most rare books related to Greenwood in the world, a 1941 Greenwood directory that has the names and addresses of the Greenwood community in 1941. We're so excited about that work. And as I get ready to close, our mission is very clear. It is to provide justice and reparations for the Greenwood community, descendants, survivors, and those that were dispersed throughout this nation, indeed the world. Because we do this work because we love Greenwood. Because Greenwood is and always was a love story. And it's a love story when you think about Dick Rowland, a 19-year-old shoeshine boy who got on the elevator with a white woman named Sarah Page. And because of what happened on that elevator, the city of Tulsa, the Tulsa Chamber, and the other perpetrators of the massacre wanted to lynch 19-year-old Dick Rowland. Dick Rowland was not a wealthy individual. Dick Rowland was not a powerful individual. In fact, for the world, Dick Rowland was a nobody. But for Greenwood, Dick Rowland was a somebody. And so because the community of Greenwood loved Dick Rowland, the most prominent, the most powerful, the most wealthy men of Greenwood went downtown to protect the life of a shoeshine boy. Because the world said Dick Rowland was a nobody, but as Greenwood, he was a somebody. Because Greenwood was and always is, will be, a love story. So I leave you with justice, justice, justice. Thank you.